I say from the beginning, a lot of people look at this as a 9 to 5. It's not.
It doesn't say okay. That's like OKM.
Okay.
The mindset of I was very annoyed at the one is powerful.
A lot of this is intimidating to me, but if you give me those seeds, I will sow.
Thank you for joining us on our Family First Life Tri-State Serve the People podcast. We appreciate you tuning in, spending your time to develop and grow with us. Follow us, please, on all our social media platforms at Family First Life Tri-State or FFL Tri-State. We love you. Keep listening, and I hope this information is serving you across the country. All right, everybody, thank you for jumping on with us for our Family First Life Tri-State Training Day podcast. We are extremely blessed today. One of my favorite people in all of the land is in studio with me today. Mindy Tibbs, Family First Life Believe, and a straight savage. Wow, we have you here in studio. How are you, Mindy?
This is so crazy.
Yo, it's amazing to have you here.
This is really awesome to be in person.
Well, we're excited to have you. And, man, you have so much momentum right now in all things. You're like a training goddess. People like wait for you to make videos and put them in the chat. I mean, you bring a lot of value to people. You know, I've always said this about you, but you bring a lot of value to people. And it's why your team's growing the way it's growing. When did you guys get your logo?
We got logo, I want to say 3 months ago.
Hasn't it been pretty fast since then?
I still don't know what's happening.
Do you remember posting in the chat how scared you were that you weren't going to get to lock in your logo?
Oh my gosh.
That wasn't that long ago.
That was awful. Yeah, I was waiting for those dumb IP reports.
But think about this.
Yeah.
That's at 100 families a month, correct? That's what you were hoping to do?
Yeah.
And then you've had pretty big weeks since then. So that was 2 months ago. What's been your biggest families help submit week since then?
You mean our team? I think our biggest was 65 or 70.
That's in 1 week.
1 week.
So 2 months ago, you were sweating bullets, which means you were probably doing about helping 30 families a week. And 2 months later, you doubled that. You more than doubled what you guys were doing 2 months ago.
It's crazy. I don't know what's happening.
That's called momentum. So let's unpack FFL Believe a little bit. Let's go underneath the hood of FFL Believe. First off, for people that don't know you, give them a little bit of a backdrop about you. Give them a little bit of backdrop about how you came up with the name FFL Believe, because I think it's intriguing. And then we'll get into it a little bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not a secret. I'm literally just a mom, just doing my best to help as many families as possible and taking any agents that want to do the same and helping them. I mean, I think a lot of people look at, teams that are at logo and they think I could never do that.
Wow.
And it's easy to think that because I thought the same. But now that we're here, I'm like, I don't even know how we did it. We just took it one dial day and one hungry agent at a time and one phone call at a time.
Right.
And anybody who wants to put in the work can do that and can get to logo. And I know that this is just the beginning for the team. But, yeah, I mean, it's just crazy how the momentum has come to be and how, yeah.
Pretty awesome. Now, you set the pace with going out there and helping families, and honestly, leading from the front with the way you train. It's very transparent. It's super easy to follow, and it's nonstop. Why do you do that?
Because if you don't, you're doing a disservice to your agents. I think it's honestly biblical. The kisses of an enemy are deceitful, and I think it's the same thing for in the home. I mean, if you're worried about tiptoeing around agents and when they had a high, exciting moment and there's correction that needs to be had in that moment, you still need to give that correction or you're not doing a service to them. So just seeing, is there anything that I can do to help them be better? Like David, who'll be in here later today, he posted a big sale that he had, and he had posted his conditional receipt form, and I zoomed in and I corrected something that he had said on the conditional receipt form. And he's like, really? Like, only you would correct something like that. But yeah, just being super direct and honest. I think a lot of people are scared they're going to offend them, right? Or those emotional agents that you work with. So you feel like you can't correct them. I still do, essentially. But yeah.
I think it's the heart to serve. The way you treat people is why it's growing the way it's growing, and it's very evident. But when we go under the hood of FFL Believe, there is people that are now part of this team. 2 months ago, sweating if we make logo, now exploding. That means that there's some individuals or some teams that are growing inside your team now, which is this is the fun. There's a sweet part right here where people are getting aha moments, and people are, starting to develop their swag, if you will, their cadence, their schedule. What are you doing? Let's talk about your hiring practices, and then let's talk about your onboarding practices and what you do to help your agents maximize success.
So right from the beginning, I am known for being incredibly direct and almost scaring agents off. Is that a strategy?
Very
much so.
Okay, so break that down.
So you can't ever tell me that dial day would suck. You're not going to call me and tell me because I already told you that it would. Or you're not going to talk to me and be surprised that you need to buy leads. Or when you have those days where you blank or you get no-shows or whatever. Because I've already told you about all of that since day one.
Let's walk through that. How's that sound? I'm your new agent. Let's go through it.
So I tell everybody either Family First Life is for you or it's not. Like there's nothing in between. And if you're willing to work hard and listen and be corrected, then it's for you. But if you run based off of emotions and everything that you do is driven by emotions, it's not going to work because on dial day, there's a ton of rejection. And if you're taking things constantly personally, then it's not going to work for you. And then you go in a home, and then if you don't get a sale and you're nasty to the client or you get offended with rebuttals, right, then it's not going to work. And so, honestly, I make it more so sound like a privilege to be on the team. And so by the time they're there at that point, they're excited to see what they can do to prove themselves. And it's a genuine thing because as a mom, I really try to spend my time evenly with my family and work. And so I'm not going to take my time and spend it on someone who's just a whiner and somebody who doesn't want to have both feet in. They want to be half foot in, half foot out, or they're going to spend a little bit on leads or whatever. So I just am setting from the beginning, this is how much you need to spend on leads every week. If you don't make your money back, are you going to quit? Or are you going to buy another batch? If you're going to quit, then don't even come on. And then if you're willing to, I wait for that response too. I say, okay, you spend this much on leads and you don't make your money back. What do you do next? Do you quit or are you buying another batch? And there's only one response to that, right? I'm buying another batch. But if they, come on and they don't make their money back, then I always refer back to, what did you say?
And now, you're right, there is only one response to that because the way you deliver that question, there's no way out. But it is the right answer. Buy another batch. So you're framing it up. And I like it because it's like the expectation is very directly set.
Yeah. And I know that's not everyone's way to do it, and I'm okay with that.
That's why you're in the podcast with us. We want to know your way. It's working.
For me, I'm one person. Right? So I have to spend my time with people that I know are very serious, and everybody on my team on the boards right now is very serious. This is not a side hustle. This isn't some gig. This isn't some weekend thing. Like, this is for their family. They are ready to build a business. I have single moms, pastors' wives. I have multiple people on my team where this is all or nothing. And so if you get some agent that comes in and they're like, well, hey, let me see what I can do. And it's like, no, like I only want people that are, this is it. It's family first, life or nothing. Like there is no plan B, essentially. So my stance from the beginning is incredibly direct with them. I'd rather not work with you than you come in with half one foot in.
Now, you find, though, as you do that, you get more people that say yes to all these things than no, right?
Oh, yeah.
Why is it? Psychologically, why is that?
Because they approached me about it. So it's embarrassing to say no.
Right.
But, I mean, on social media, I have a copy-paste message. Surprise. I have a copy-paste message if someone messages me about the business, and typically that'll scare them off when they see leads, you know. They'll run away, and I'm very direct about how much you need to spend on leads, and typically that number will scare them off. But, I mean, when people approach me and I have that phone call at that point, they've talked to me more than once.
Got it.
So now that they've talked to me more than once, they're not going to say, no, I'm going to quit. Who's going to say they're going to quit? Well, nobody wants to be a quitter, but they do.
Right. So what do you typically, how do you get to, because first off, I like that you're the one handling the call, right? Because no one can deliver it better than you can, period, the end. Number two, how do you get into the lead conversation? What are you saying to help people understand leads cost money and that they need to come to the table with something so that they can win?
So, I say from the beginning, a lot of people look at this as a 9-to-5. It's not. You are your own boss, essentially, like a realtor, is what I typically revert back to. So this is a business. If you are comfortable in that 9-to-5 structure, you're going to have some learning curves because this is a business. And the way that business is funded and run is by buying leads. Buying leads is non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. So if you are having an issue where you're saying I'm only going to sell to friends and family, it's not going to work. I started off with $500 in a white Chase Bank envelope, and I worked my butt off on those leads. And whatever amount you have, we can work with it. But you need to be willing to, spend something. And every week, once you build up that momentum, when you make a profit, you're putting that toward leads. You make that profit, you're putting that toward leads, and eventually you'll get a larger spread to where you can do whatever you need to do. But I always say typically 500 to 1,000 starting in leads needs to be spent. And the less you spend, the harder you're going to have to work. If you, a lot of people think they're going to take a shortcut and spend less on leads, but the less you spend, the harder you're going to have to work. You're going to have to door knock. You're going to have to blow these people up, text messages, voicemails. You're just going to have to be willing to get a lot of rejection and get your butt kicked.
And do you find that people are more willing to invest more, or do you find that people are just willing to give it something because they know they have to get rolling?
I think they're terrified at those numbers starting out. Even $500 to a lot of people is terrifying. And I get it, right? We both get it. Like, we've all been there. But once they make that first sale, then they see, okay, this is real. Once they get that.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't get that.
What?
$500 is scary.
Okay.
I don't. I'm just being real. Like, I maybe because I was selling lemonade at 9.
Sure.
And I had to buy Country Time lemonade for $4 to make 10. And I sold candy and I sold clothes, and I always knew you needed money to make money. So when I was introduced to this opportunity and I saw leads, Mindy, I was out of my mind. Does that make sense? Like, I saw an opportunity to help people that are I looked at the leads and was like, stop playing. Like, stop playing with me. Seriously?
It's a no-brainer, dude.
Like, this is like a piece of paper that has their name, their date of birth, their address, their phone number, how much insurance. Are you freaking kidding me? So I hear you. Yeah. But we have our audience is wide. So we got people that do understand what you're saying, and there's some people that don't understand what I'm saying.
Yep.
I don't understand that. Right? Because if I'm on the phone with Mindy Tibbs, who's successful, I'm assuming that I should be able to have success. I'm not confused. She's a human being like I am, right? And the difference between her and me right now is experience.
Yeah.
So tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And those are the people we're looking for.
Right.
Even though it is scary to you. Like my sister Christy, she picked lice at a second job so she could save up for leads. So
Makes sense.
So $500 to her was huge. And what is it now? She's like done.
Right.
You know, she just submitted 13 families last week.
She makes sense. She makes more sense to me than the other person you mentioned earlier. If I don't quote unquote have it, or I am a little bit afraid,
Yep.
I'm gonna do something to go. I'll sell blood. I'll sell a pint of plasma. I mean, like, I'm gonna do something. I'll sell a TV. I'll sell baseball cards. I'll do something to get it because whatever I'm doing now is not working, and that Mindy girl's killing it. And she sounds like she wants to teach me how to do it.
Sure.
Makes sense?
Those are the people we're looking for.
100%. And that's what you're building right now. So when we look at, you know, some of the people you got, I mean, your sister's with you? How does it feel? I met her at conference.
She's a nut.
How does it feel to see her being, like, how does it feel to be making disciples of successful insurance people?
I mean, it's still something, it's fun because I know I'm going to look back at this podcast, but it's still unreal. It doesn't feel the whole business, the whole growth, the momentum that's coming. It doesn't feel real. But especially my sister Christy, I mean, nobody butted heads as siblings more than her and myself. So she is the last sibling I ever thought that I would be working with.
Wow.
And it just makes a really good team. She's so coachable. She's so excited. We talked on the phone this morning about her having her biggest summit week.
Jeez.
It's unreal, and she's worked so hard her entire life and working 2 and 3 jobs as a single mom just to make ends meet and working her way up as a paralegal in a huge power company. And now she's here. She's got to go on her daughter's field trip the other day. And
wow. Just simple stuff.
Just the little things, you know, that mean things to us as parents. But it's just pretty cool. It all started by believing, you know, just straight from the beginning. And I think just to answer your question from earlier, believe to us means faith, essentially. And obviously faith is taken in our company in like 20 different ways and logo names. But anybody, you know, who can work hard and just, you have to believe. That's it. And that's why I think that name means so much to us, is you just have to believe and you just have to put the work behind that believing. But it's pretty crazy.
What you say, it's still unreal. What are you figuring out about yourself right now? What are you figuring out about people right now in this stage of your business?
Myself, I mean, honestly, I think of your talk that you did at convention. He giveth seeds to the sower. And I remember thinking, okay, God, I don't feel qualified to run this huge, massive agency. I'm just me by myself. I'm not fancy. I don't have this huge staff. A lot of this is intimidating to me, but if you give me those seeds, I will sow. And God, I mean, you say he doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. And if your hands are open, like you said, and you're willing to receive those seeds, it's crazy. And so I'm looking at this, even this morning, I'm like, Lord, what are you doing? Like, we're here in New Jersey, and I don't know what you're doing, but just help me. Please help me help people.
Wow.
And you don't have to even be a qualified sower.
Right.
He just gives you the seeds
Right.
and does the rest, as long as your hands are open and you're willing, you know, to help reap that with agents. So, yeah, that talk helped me a lot, and I still feel that. I feel so honored to be able to do this every day, and just seeing David and Christy and Holly and Dora and just so many people just growing. It's just an honor. It's the only thing that I could think of, and I just constantly revert back to your talk, and I was choking up sitting there, and I just feel like that's what this opportunity is. It's just straight from God, and as long as you're willing to work, he will give you those seeds and he will just grow the rest and do the rest. So that's how I feel. I feel honored with this growth, and it's still crazy to me.
Every time we do a podcast, you say something that just, belongs on a plaque, and it's just like, so you have so much wisdom, and you come from a place of such gratitude, and that's attractive. That's going to attract people. I mean, people are going to want to work with FFL Believe, and they understand what it stands for and what it means, and it's pretty awesome. I can't have you on a podcast live without going through your famous phone script.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you're known for this phone script, and I think it's...
Which one?
The one that you do. It helps a lot. It helps a lot of people, and I want to go through this with you, and I think it's more your approach, but let's have at it. Now, you can have as much fun as you want with it. I'm just going to be,
You're going to give me a hard time?
If you want me to. What's
No.
better? What's better?
Don't give me a hard time. Okay, second chance mortgage.
Is that the one that you typically?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
I think so.
Okay.
Ring.
Hello?
Hey, Mark. This is Mindy. Just having to give you a quick call. Your file for your property at 123 Main Street just came across my desk here as incomplete. Only reason being, I know that it was back in July last year with Chase, but we had sent you a couple things to your house about mortgage protection. That's that coverage that pays off or down your home in the event of you getting sick or passing away. So you did the right thing. Then you had filled out that card that we had sent you by hand, mailed back to us, but for some reason it was not completed over here on our end. So that's actually the reason I'm having to give you a call. So I'm the manager in Portage County, assigned to just meet with you for about 15-20 minutes just to go over that coverage with you. And then from there, I'll have you sign off saying that you've met with me and that your file is officially complete, okay?
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. There's so much power in that little word, okay?
The way you say it, it's a closing.
I just want a shirt that says okay on it. Because there's only one response. Same with like in the home. And then we're going to submit that request through for coverage, okay? I just want a shirt that says okay.
Okay. It doesn't say okay. Okay. It's like OKM.
Okay.
I can't. Continue, my dear.
Just to confirm, are you currently residing at 123 Main Street?
Yes.
Okay, is it just you in the household? Or is there a significant other spouse residing with you as well?
I'm married.
You're married. Okay. And then would your spouse be the beneficiary of that home?
Yes.
Okay. So they'll have to be present as well.
Okay.
Let me take a look at my schedule here, see when I can meet with you. All right. Looks like I'll be in your area tomorrow and Friday. What time are you both typically getting home from work?
Right around 6.
Around 6.
Yeah.
Okay. That's both of you?
Yeah, well, I get in around 6:30, 6:45.
6:30. Okay. Let's be safe. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you down tomorrow between 7 and 8:30. Any reason at all you and your wife both won't be home between 7 and 8:30 tomorrow evening?
No, we should be there.
You should be there or you will be there?
We will be there.
You will be there.
Sorry.
Okay. And I really do that.
Right.
Okay, do me a favor. Grab a pen. I actually have to give you a code for security so you know it's us.
Very good.
Okay, T as in Tom.
Mm-hmm.
1037.
Mm-hmm.
Write down my name. It's Mindy.
Okay.
I'm doing this a lot slower, by the way.
Yeah.
And then I want you to write down tomorrow, 7 to 8:30, and underline that.
Mm-hmm.
They do, by the way. When I go to their house, I see other paper, and I see that it's underlined too.
Nice.
And underline that. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so it's T1037, Mindy, 7 to 8:30. And then front door or side door, what do you prefer?
Front's good.
Front. Do you want me to park in the driveway or the street? What's better?
Street's good.
Street?
Yeah.
Okay. And then any big dogs you're going to sick on me because you forgot I was coming?
No, we have no dogs.
No?
Just my daughter who's
Perfect.
rambunctious.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So do me a huge favor, Mark. Okay. This here is just an office line. So I, as the underwriter, I cannot get any cancellations or reschedules on this. So please, as a courtesy to myself, make sure that you and your wife are both there during that time tomorrow between 7 and 8:30, and I will be as well, okay?
Dude, what is your show ratio?
I mean, I had 15 appointments this week and 14 showed.
Wow.
And I was very annoyed at the one. And they got 3 calls and a text message while I was there of their front door, a picture.
You sent that to them?
I sent it to them.
And what happened?
Nothing.
They didn't respond.
And I don't want you. I'll move to the next.
You know what, though? The mindset of, I was very annoyed at the one is powerful. Because it speaks to, now, you run 15 because you say you spend equal time with the family and then the work. But in 15 appointments, how many families are you? You sit with 14, how many do you help?
I mean, typically about 25 to 30 a month.
Yeah. So it's you're building an agency, you're selling, helping families. Your bills are now Andrew, your husband, he does this as well, right?
He does it more so part-time.
Plus the business, plus it's growing. You have time to, like, we probably need to take some time next time to talk about Mindy the mom, because the way you run it, you have time for motherhood, you have time to be an excellent wife, you have time to run the business, you have time for your agents. There's probably some psychology, there's probably some way to teach that, to some capacity. Everybody's structure is different, so we'd have to kind of carve it out the right way, but I think it's pretty impressive that you do it the way you do it. Again, your show ratio is so high and your close ratio is so high, you don't necessarily have to run 25, 30, right? And then your goal to do it the way you're doing it with the business and the team and it's pretty impressive. I think it's something that definitely is duplicatable, but I think that when people are looking at this, they're looking at you as a model, for what is possible, and I think a lot of people are looking for that balance, if you will, to figure it out. And I mean, if your social media is any window into how it looks, you're crushing it. So
thank you.
We appreciate you. I'd love it if you could just give any parting shots to any agent out there.
You're doing better than you feel, even on the hard days, but don't ever be satisfied with where you're at. If you're part-time, hold yourself to full-time standards and reach out to people that are doing that and plug into people who are doing that. But nobody talks, I don't say nobody, but I think a lot of people don't talk about the loneliness and the mental aspect of this business and needing to push through on those hard days. So if you're going through that doom loop or you're going through, you keep fighting and then you get more chargebacks and then you're fighting, don't give up, don't quit. It's an incredible business. And
yeah, it is.
If I would have quit, I don't know what agents would have this opportunity.
Sure.
So you're supposed to help people by getting through this tough moment that you're going through. So there are future agents and moms and dads that are going to change their life with Family First Life, but they're not going to if you quit. So if you're going through that tough time, just keep going. Because if you would have quit, I don't know that I would be here either.
Wow.
So that's what I would say, and use the word okay.
Dude, I could literally do this for hours with you.
I could too.
Because you just, there's so many places to put. We may have to do another another podcast.
Let's do it.
But I'm just saying, it's just a lot of places to pull from with you because you beam all this wisdom. But we appreciate you, Mindy. All you do, FFL Believe, your team is growing, exploding. You're phenomenal.
You're phenomenal.
And I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for listening. Keep listening. We'll keep trying to provide value. We love you. God bless. Thanks, Mindy.